How do you decide when you buy or planning to buy a new aftermarket part? Option one, I saw it Ken Ratson has it. It must be good, so I'm gonna buy myself one. Option two, oh, my friend has one and he's been using it for 2, 3 years. And I'm just gonna buy it because he likes it, so it must be good. Which one is you? Before we start, today's video powered by Urmosi. We design and manufacture dirt bike parts like the 720 SBC or flexible brake pedals and more. Built by riders who believe some things can be done better. Learn more on our website. What got me thinking, I saw a company announced a new product another day, and they said it's been proven by pro racers, and the message was clear: you must buy it because it's been proven by pro racers. Why wouldn't you? Let me give you a little example. You see the X triple clamp everywhere. All the pro racers, or most of the pro racers, using it. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you buy one? So you ended up buying one because everybody else using it. All of the top riders, you see them on the TV. So decided to pull the trigger, buy one for $800, and it turned out to be too stiff because it is too stiff. Why is that? Because the product designed for those guys who are going extremely fast, way faster than you are because they are the top 1%. And for them, it flexes enough to actually serve the purpose what it's designed for. But for you, since you are not going as fast, it doesn't serve the purpose for what it's built for. Or you're buying a Scott stabilizer, which is you have to do compromise, which is raising the handlebar up, even if you don't want to. But if you want to have a Scott stabilizer, you're just taking and kind of like sucking it up and just having the handlebar up higher. Or you can actually buy a precision stabilizer, which does not raise the handlebar up, but you never heard of it. And this brings up the point, which is you never heard of it. Because you never heard of it, not necessarily mean it's a bad product. It's actually better because it doesn't raise the handlebar up and it has the same functionality as Scott. But you're buying the Scott because that's what you heard of. Why is that? When you look at pro racers, when you go to Baja, they are using the Scott. So obviously Scott put way too much money into marketing to be everywhere and flooded in the market, and people instantly recognize the brand with what it is, and they just want to put it on the bike, right? It makes sense. But there is other brands out there you just never heard of. Unfortunately, they cannot afford to do the same kind of marketing as Scott did, or the X-Rig in that case, because they just have a way too much money and they can actually put it on pro racers' bike. And that's another point. If you put something on pro racers' bike, you reach way more people. So this gentleman, what I saw the other day, when he said on his new product, proven by pro racers, then he don't have to spend as much money on advertising because he can put it on this guy's bike, and pretty much everybody knows these top-level riders. So if they're using something, then obviously the word gets out much quicker. This is more like coming down to the money, what you and me seeing on social media, and not necessarily brings you the best product. It is good, and it is the best in a way for those top 1%, but it's not necessarily the best for you. I have X-Rig on my KTM and I love it very much. I would not spend $800 on it just for what it's designed for, but I find the secondary purpose. I beat the crap out of that bike when I do enduro riding. That's what I'm using it for mainly, and I throw the bike up everywhere, back and forth. You know, I didn't hold myself back when I ride with it. I'm just enjoying it. And the point is, the front never twisted. Never, ever, not even once. So because it's so rigid, the X-Rig is so rigid, and it's holding the shocks so well, my steering stays the same, whatever I set it up. Never twisted, I never had to adjust the front because I throw the bike up. It was always on point. So I actually find a secondary purpose where the X-Rig really, really good. You can decide by looking at what people recommend really on the product. You can look at it by the people feedback, what people say about it, not necessarily the pro racers, but the average rider. If there is a product out there which serves them very well, obviously it will serve you as well. Lately, more and more companies realize we kind of not as dumb anymore. So we don't want to have something what doesn't work. We don't want to spend money on it when it doesn't work for us. So they're making a version of that product which is toned down a little bit and it works for us. The way we are making the product, we are actually develop the product for riders like myself. I actually testing my product and we making a version for the pro racers. Customers first and then the pro racers second. Hopefully I didn't hurt anybody's feeling with this, but we actually decided to do things totally the opposite way just because I have enough capabilities to grow social media on my own. I'm not relying on pro racers. I would like them when they posting, but mainly I am the one who take care of the social media on my end, so I can create enough exposure. So I don't have to do really what other people does, which is putting the pro racers first, so they can get enough exposures to sell the product. Anyway, this is just a point of view of how to decide which product you buy or you're going to buy. I don't think you necessarily has to look at what the pro racers use and buying that product, unless again, if that one has a version for you, you may want to look at the product which is used by most of the people. If most of the people using it, or you see a lot of reviews and a lot of guys said this is good, then you might as well just pull the trigger. But like X-Rig, I don't think that's good for you unless if you are the top 1%. But I know a lot of people buying it. And when I talk to customers about it, a lot of them has it and they all saying it's too stiff. So they ending up changing and go to another manufacturer because there is another manufacturer who makes those triple clamps, but it's much less stiffer than the X-Rig because it's built for everyday riders, not for pro riders. But they also have a version for pro riders. So you see my point, like a different approach. I just try to help you decide how to buy a product, and that's not necessarily lining up with buying a product because the pro racers has it. I think that's kind of silly. Thank you.